Well, we're going to move on to the according to the program. So our next speaker is presenting online as a pre-recorded presentation by Dr. Sanjeev Kumar from University of Jammu, India. And title is Wild Mushroom Diversity and their Ethnomycology in Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh, India.
Very good afternoon to all the mycologists across the globe. Myself, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar from Jammu, Kashmir, Union Territory of India. Today I am going to present a paper entitled "An Identification but not consumed in the study area." These 47 mushrooms distributed in 34 furniture. So I am showing a list of total edible mushrooms which are actually consumed in the Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, Union Territory of India. Here you can see all these species were distributed in several genera like agarics. Here you can see bolids, bolitus, calavetia, geopora, sapulitaria, etc. And these are the vernacular names. Different vernacular names were used. Majority of the species were taken as territory of India. Today I am going to present a paper entitled Wild Mushroom Diversity and their Ethnomycology in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Union Territory of India. So as far mushrooms are concerned, they are important to human mankind and constitute the most relished food commodities amongst the non-conventional foodstuffs, primarily because of their unique flavor and texture, and are consumed either in fresh or consumed processed form. As far mushrooms are concerned, they are categorized into several groups like agarics, corallite, morels and cup fungi, puffballs, earth stars, bird nest fungi, stinkhorns, and bolids. So these groups here, I can show you some of the pics of these groups. This is first group, that is agarics, gill fungi. This is morel. This is puffballs, and these are the porite group of fungi, and these are the cup fungi. These are bird nest fungi. These are again cup fungi. These are the earth stars, and these are coral group of fungi, that means corallite group. So out of the total estimated mushrooms of 20,000 mushrooms, 7,000 possess varying degree of edibility, out of which 3,000 species separate over 31 genera are regarded as prime edible, out of which 10 have reached an industrial scale. So the edible mushrooms have attraction due to their flavor, palatability, nutritive value, and use of these edible mushrooms for human consumption is probably as old as man himself. So the rate of consumption of these mushrooms in many countries has been increased during recent years, and it becomes imperative to explore the treasure of these natural resources. Present study was undertaken with the distribution, taxonomic, and ethnomycological studies of these mushrooms. Here you can see a blue color depicts my whole study area, that is Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh, which are nowadays two union territories of India. These are the topographic views of some of my collection sites. Standard methods of collection, preservation, and identification were followed. So as far ethnomycological data is concerned, in order to gain better understanding of the relationship between these natural resources and local people, field investigation and interviews were conducted in different local languages like Bhadrawai, Kishtwari, Gadeshi, Pahadi, Gojri, etc. Semi-structured interviews having a set of questions was put forth to locals to ascertain their views on the historical, traditional usage, edibility pattern, folk taxonomy, how method of drying and preservation, commercial importance of these natural resources. Many times, additional information can also be gathered by showing the specimen itself. So, as far present study is concerned, present study total number of 100 species, out of which 54 species belonging to 23 genera were found locally consumed by the local inhabitants of the region. 47 out of which 47 edible mushroom, which are although reported to be edible from other parts of India and other parts of the world, but not consumed in the study area. And these 47 mushrooms distributed in 31 genera. So I am showing a list of total edible mushrooms which are actually consumed in the Jammu Kashmir Ladakh Union Territory of India. Here you can see all these species were distributed in several genera like agarics. Here you can see bolids, bolitus, calavetia, geopora, sapulitaria, etc. And these are the vernacular names. Different vernacular names were used. Majority of the species were taken as fresh and dried form. Like Geopora nicola, they are taken as the dried form as well as the fresh form. And here you can see last column represents the market value of these natural resources. These are again species of morels belonging to Gyromitra, Helvila, Pexillus, and Morchilla, number of Morchilla species. And out of these edible mushrooms, only morels have a commercial value. That means they are sold at the rate of from 5,000 to 10,000 in dried form per kg. And these are taken as well as fresh and dried form. So again, several Morchilla species, Pleurotus and Corallite species belongs to genus Remeria. And here you can see belongs to genus Remeria. And besides these, Rhizopogon, number of Rhizopogon species, coral fungi, that means Sparacis species like Sparacis crispa, Sparacis radicata, and several species of termites, that means Termitomyces belongs to Termitomyces. And of the total consumed species, it has been observed and it has been found that species belonging to genus Rhizopogon were taken in fresh and uncooked form also. Just washing from water and they eat. And here you can see the different dialects like Bhadrawai, Kashtwari, Kishtwari, Gadeshi, Kashmiri, Pahadi, Punchi, Ladakhi, etc. So here you can see the list of those wild edible mushrooms which are although reported to be edible from other parts of India but not consumed, or other parts of the world but not consumed in our study area. And these species represents Agaricus, Alluria, Astrius, Bolitus, some of the Bolitus species, Plutus, Canthrellus, and Coprinellus, Lycopodon, etc. And here you can see second column represents their vernacular. Now coming to the morphological features and systematics of these natural resources. These are the species of Helvila, number of species of Helvila, and third and fourth is Helvila grisoalba, First one is Helvila crispa and Helvila elastica. This is again species of Helvila corium and Helvila elastica. Here you can see a fruiting body of Helvila elastica. And these are the microscopic features of these Helvila species. Here you can see how the ascospores are arranged in SI, and this is a shape of ascospore. These are again species of Helvila estabulum. Helvila estabulum, the characteristic features of these two species having in estabulum, here you can see the third and fourth one, here you can see the difference between these two species. And in estabulum, here you can see the ridges attaches at the middle of the fruiting body, means cap, pileus portion, okay, and not reaches up to the margins. These are Pisiza anomophila, this is Ampliata, this is Pisiza badia, although reported to be edible from other parts of India but not consumed in study area. These are the species of Pisiza depressa, Pisiza vesiculosa, Pisiza lobulata, ripenda, and Bruno atra, and last one is Pisiza sposa. Here you can see these microscopic features of these Pisiza species. These are morels. A number of morels we have described and identified and already published in research papers. Like these are the morel Morchilla conica, Morchilla deliciosa, Morchilla, and here you can see a blinking cursor, and this is Morchilla similibera. The characteristic feature of this similibera, that means type is attached middle of the pileus. Here you can easily see I have pointed a pin and an arrow is showing the attachment of stipe. This is Verpa conica. Here you can see the difference between Morchilla similibera and Verpa conica is that Verpa conica having stipe directly attaches to the top tip of the cap, that means tip of the pilus. And last two species are Gyromitra esculenta and Gyromitra gigaspora. These are the species of Scutlinia. These are the two new varieties we have obtained, we have identified. These are the species of Anthropophobia pulvinilla. These are the cup fungi, that means Geopora arnicola. First two species are Geopora arnicola, and third one is Sapulitaria arenosa. Here you can see the finger-like a flower-like projection or finger-like projection is formed at the cap margin, and last one belongs to Sarcospire. These are the guild fungi, belongs to Agaricus bisporus and Agaricus campestris. This is the developmental stage. Here you can see the Agaricus cervensis and Macrolacuta procera. These are the Coprinus species. Here you can see the developmental stages of Coprinus comatus. These are again the species of Coprinus. These are the Clitocyte species. These are the porite group. Belongs to first two are Boletus luridus, Boletus edulus, Boletus formosus. These are the Streptolomyces species, and these are three species of Inocyte. These are the puff balls. These are again, here you can see a puff ball, that means Calvatia, belongs to genus Calvatia cythiformix, forming a fairy ring in our botanical garden, University of Jammu, Jammu. This is a new genus record for India, Clitosilla populinus. And this is Pleurotus pleurosus, growing on Jubilans regia. And these are the four species of belongs to genus Rhizopogon luteolus variety multigatulata variety nova, variety Rhizopogon sublateritis, Rhizopogon guzmai, variety Macrospora, variety nova, already published in journal. These are the species of Ramiria formosa, Flavobruniscens. These are Ramiria apiculata, Ramiria stricta, Clavicornia, and these are the two species of Clavulina alpina. First one is Clavulina alpina, species nova, and these are another coral group of fungi, belongs to genus Tarsis crispa. Generally, these species grows a number of hosts, are associated with number of hosts like bees, like Cedrus. Here you can see association with Cedrus deodara. This is Parasis cystidiosa. The characteristic feature of cystidiosa having a long cystidia. When we see their internal structure under microscope, we will find that a long cystidia is the characteristic feature of cystidiosa. This is Termitomyces status. These are again the number of species of Termitomyces. These are the earth stars, Geostrum, Estes, Hygrometus, and these are the puff balls. White colored puff balls are Bovista pusilla, and uh, elongated photograph of Auricularia auricula. These are the Lactaria species. These are red one is Rusula lepida, and last one is Lycopodon rhinulatum. This is Philomena volutips. These are the phylophorales or porite group are those fungi which grows on wood. And you can see a Ganoderma lucidum, commonly called as reishi mushroom or king of mushroom. And some species of Lenzides furcata. Last one is Lenzide furcata, the forked gill. Arrangement of we have seen forked formation in this Lenzide furcata. These are the formous species, and these are the species. These are the phallus species. We have encountered 3 species of phallus, that is Phallus macrosporus, Phallus rubricandus, and Phallus hadrinae. Here you can see a cut section of these eggs. Here you can see. As for ethnomycological data, ethnomycological information is gathered. Here you can see how people collect these wild resources, these wild edible mushrooms. And here you can see processing of Sparasis crispa or coral fungi, how people collect, how they show and how they feel happy while collecting or while processing these. And here here you can see these 2 childrens, and in fact these are my children. I have twins, and here you can see how they are happy and how they are clearing the whorls of these Sparasis. And last photograph is prepared form of this Sparasis species. And this is a processing of cup fungi, that means Geopora and Sapulitaria, how people collect, how they wash. And last photograph is after washing, people generally they use one method. They put a little bit of oil and warm it. After that, put these Geopora cup fungi after washing into that pan and roast it with the help of a little bit of turmeric. And after roasting, they kept it for winter seasons. How people dried and how they are sold in the local market of Jammu and Kashmir. Here you can see. So this is consumption pattern of these edible mushrooms in our study area. Majority of mushrooms out of 54 wild consumed mushrooms, generally fresh vegetable mixed with potato and onion, raw in Geopora arnicola. Here you can see Latiophorus sulphurus processing. And third and last photograph, here you can see a gas. This is a processing of Rhizopogon species and how it looked like after preparing. And these are the folk vocabulary. Here that means guild fungi, which belongs to agarics. We call it as agarics. And after inquiring about, we have encountered a genus name, that is Salti or Cyril. Salti means umbrella like. And as far porite group is concerned, they are recognized as Bhutol, Bhutto or Dellu. That means edible after roasting on fire. That is called Bhutol. And Dellu means it is easily divisible into 2 parts. And coral fungi, shady, gob, gobur. Shady means generally edible mushroom, and gob and gobur means she lamb or he lamb. So as far puffballs, Rhizopogon species are concerned, they are called it as dudhkat. Dudhkat means appears white, milky white when cut open. So earth stars generally call it as people generally call it as sapnaswar. That means associated. They have myth these mushrooms are associated with snakes. And as far morals are concerned, moral call it as tuntu or tuntong. That means emerges out after thundering. And cup fungi is called as kundi. Kundi means mortar made of stone shaped. Some species are recognized on the basis of color. Some species are recognized on the basis of association. Here you can see a miscellaneous local folk taxa and their meaning. That means Kankach is a vesicular ear-like fungus. Sabarkan, Pylos, Batkach, Sapnaswar, Matej, Geopador, Kundi, Kudos, Bolids, Dellu, Bhutol, Bhutto, and Plotus species, Sarudi, Siraj, and Chursiraj, and Lycopodon offends Amanita species Nachan Siraj. That means when people, there's a associated myth is that Amanita species will not considered when the people consume it as and they move here and there. That means they feel a problem of diarrhea like. So, as for total wild mushrooms, 80 taxa account in new addition to the macrofungal flora of Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh, and of which 54 preferably consumed in the study area. 62 vernaculars were used for 90 wild mushrooms, and some folk genera were also recorded, that is, Thalti or Sirad for agarics, Butol, Butto for bolids, Shady Gubgubud for coral fungi, Dudkat for sapnaswar, Tuntum for morels, Kundi for cup fungi. So the study also recommends several surveys over an extended period of time. In view of the increasing commercialization of wild edible fungi, more studies on the ethnomycological information in the state or union territory are called for. My special thanks to some of the mycologists, and first this is Dr. T.N. Lakhanpal, Professor Emeritus from Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla, Solan, India. And these are some more taxonomists and mycologists, Dr. N. Asatri from Punjabi University, Patiala, Dr. P.M. Sharma from Himachal Pradesh, Dr. K.B. Virenda and C.K. Pardeep, along with Dr. T.N. Lakhanpal. And first, the K.B. Virenda and Dr. Pardeep belongs to South India. And my credit also, special thanks to late Professor K. Natarajan, Gem of Agarics of India, and Dr. T.N. Cole, pioneer researcher in Jammu and Kashmir, former director, Regional Research Laboratory, Srinagar. As Dr. S.T. Chang, Dr. Li Ping, and Dr. Ahuja, here you can see a list of some more mycologists whom photo I don't have right now. Dr. Ping Zhang, Dr. Zhang Wang, Henchen Wang, B.C. Suman, and Dr. Harvinder Kaur from Punch, Jammu and Kashmir. And here you can see first two photographs during my research, and still my research is continuing, and rest three photographs are nowadays we were in exploration. And here you can see a man in my mentor, Dr. Y.P. Sharma. My mentor, Dr. Y.P. Sharma, and these are the budding mycologists. And last photographs, this man is Dr. Y.P. Sharma, University of Department of Botany, University of Jammu. I am very thankful to sir. He always guide me, support me every time, and he always show his best towards me and always encourage me to do more and more exploration, to document the taxa, to conserve these resources. And in fact, in Jammu University, there is a mushroom lab. Several researchers are doing their research on these natural resources. They are doing molecular taxonomy also. Although my work is not on my molecular, and I have completed my research in 2009. After that, I am doing my job as a government teacher in District Doda Bhadrava Tehsil. So my special thanks to all those, especially special thanks to organizers who invite me and give me chance to present a part of my research work in front of several mycologists who come from across the globe. Thank you very much.
That was the presentation by Dr. Kumar, and it's kind of refreshing having conference